Why is it that oftentimes the places that are supposed to be the safest for us end up being the places where we feel most vulnerable and we feel and experience the greatest hurt? We experience that in our homes and in our families at times. And another place we experience that is in our churches and places of worship. I'd like to talk with you a little bit today about spiritual issues. As a licensed marriage and family therapist, as well as being an ordained minister with many years' experience as a pastor, I'd like to talk about spiritual issues that come up where you can find the sense of healing in therapy. Oftentimes, we have the correct understanding that God is a God of love and unconditional acceptance, a God of forgiveness and mercy and grace. And so we project and believe that the people who follow God are experiencing that and also conveying that and embodying that with one another, only to find out that sometimes in our places of worship, we experience a lot of pain because our places of worship can be places that are very dichotomous. What do I mean by that? They're places where even though we espouse God, who is a God of grace and love, the atmosphere is a place of shoulds. You should do this, you should do that. And we have a lot of people who should on us. And that can be very invalidating. It can even be abusive at times. There is in this dichotomous atmosphere, an all or nothing mentality that is not consistent with a God of grace. We also find in our places of worship and our spiritual arenas, not only a dichotomous culture, but a demanding culture, where there's not only the sense of you should do this, but in the demands, there's shame that if you don't do what's expected, well, you don't live up, you're not worthy, you're deficient in some way. And so not only are there shoulds, but there's also a great sense of shame that we feel that can be toxic. And lastly, when that happens, we can experience being dismissed, where we are shunned because we are not fitting the mold that the culture of a church or a worship place is espousing. Maybe we just are a square peg in a round hole. But nonetheless, in the midst of those dichotomous, demanding, and dismissive environments, even though we can experience great hurt and pain from that, here at Nystrom Associates, you will experience people, professionals here, where you won't be should upon, you won't be shunned, and you won't be shamed. You'll be received with a non-judgmental stance. You'll have people with non-judgmental ears, people who have compassionate, receptive hearts to what you're going through and what you've experienced. And you will have people to provide insightful minds that will help you become free of the past pain, normalize the pain you've experienced so that you can find hope and healing. One of my favorite passages of the Bible comes in the New Testament, the book of 2 Corinthians. In the first chapter, it talks about God revealing himself as the God of all compassion and the Father of all comfort, who can comfort us in all of our troubles so that we can also comfort others with that same comfort we've received. Here at Nystrom and Associates, we hope that God can use us to extend his personality as the God of all comfort and the Father of all compassion to help you find your way through and experience the joy that comes from knowing a God of love and true grace. I'm Brett Cushing. Thanks so much for listening.